So everybody I know wants to see what it is I find and what it is I do. At least that's what I've been hearing. Let me start with the rockhounding, the active mine series, the one that I had an issue with the aspect ratio, etc. At one point I had found a large chunk of the coal vein, which is this guy right here. And after cleaning it off, just wow. Not only is the vein so thick, but look at the beautiful points and facets in there. So what I'm hoping to do, it's a little experiment I'm going to try, but I'm going to try to grind the outer edges, smooth everything, not touch the crystal that's in there, and then drill straight through and lock a lamp into this. Use that as the base. I picked up some anthracite to attempt carving. I haven't cleaned any of that off. Pyrite that I found, the formations I was attempting to extract. You can see I got some larger portions with the formations, and it's hard to see. Once I clean them off though, it'll really show. And another neat chunk of the vein that I came across. So I'm getting set up to do some cutting today. Fortunately, I don't get to do any very interesting cutting. There are some YouTubers who I watch. I want to point out, let's see, there's We Will Rock You, MI, Day by Day by Day, Rocks HQ, Uncle Nudge, and Jolly Roger Rock Adventures. I love the stuff that they show. I unfortunately don't find anything like that. What I do find is stuff like this. So if you like fossils, there's a piece of anthracite with the impressions of some leaves on there. I experimented earlier with the GoPro position and how close I could get without causing the image to blur, and that seems to be about it, so I must be careful there, otherwise you won't be able to see things very well. Isn't that beautiful? So here is a prehistoric plant stalk that is squished flat. Flat. You can see the texture. Plants, outer skin. It is a piece of, I guess you would call it fossilized wood, but it is anthracite. I found this in a solid boulder that cracked open. I explained that whole thing in a couple of the other videos. I'm not going to bore you all with that story again. Here is a large piece of a plant stalk. It's just amazing when you get down into those areas, especially in the bogs that captured a lot of biomaterial, the things that you can find. There's some beautiful fossilized wood. The bark, I would assume. Prehistoric beef jerky, that's what that is. And of course, everybody likes crystals, so let me show you what I find. And I don't find the beautiful agates and those cool geodes that everybody else is finding, but I do find stuff like this. So this is one of the pieces that I'm going to prep today. I want to cut the root section off to create a flat base so it stands upright. I may even consider inserting a light inside. It's one of the little things I work on. I'll show that at some point. But the quartz that I find is just so abstract and beautiful. The retailers and dealers that I've shown it to compare it to Spanish quartz. Isn't that wild? You can see here's where it attached to the rock, and the crystal plate grew off of that little outcropping. There's a beautiful stem with a terminating end, and then druzy and clustered quartz on this side. And the reason it grew like this is this portion was covered with a huge chunk of rust. And you're probably wondering, rust, quartz, what? Well, when I find the quartz, this is what it looks like. Well, this is with the dirt and the heavier material cleaned off. So it takes a bit of a process to go from this to this. Chemical process. I use weak acids and heated water. I cook them in a crock pot. So normally what I was using was something called iron out, but I am going to attempt oxalic acid this time around. I'm told that this will work better. I find it in larger quantities. I can only find it in 1 pound bags right now. Locally, I'd have to order it. And so going from all rusty and yucky like this, then initial cleanings, you can see, would remove a lot of the the outer rust, and then continued bleaching of the formation will get it to where it looks like this. This is one of the pieces that I'm attempting to drill all the rock material out of the inside, because what I'd like to do is turn this into a lighted piece. And then there's the pyrite that I find. There's a really good example. You've seen the video, I hope, called The Object. This requires me to not only remove the formation from the bedrock, but then to remove the material around it to expose the actual formation without the formation falling apart. Very, very fun process. Now we have formations that I find like this. Isn't that beautiful? This is where the base of the plate was making contact with the rock, and you can still see some of the rock in here. There's another very abstract cluster. I have been working the rock material out of the inside, which once it's complete, again, I'm going to put lights on the inside and it'll have a nice fiber optic effect and come through and light up, make a nice display piece. I love how the druzy grows under the rust and how you end up with pieces like this. You can see there's a mild bit of citrine staining still in there. I was unable to remove. I don't find those really pristine formations that you see in the stores. What I find, again, is very, very abstract. So there's some cleaning I got to do today. There's also things like this. This is actually going out to a subscriber. So Chrissy, if you hear this, see this, just know that after the holidays, I'll be sending it to you. Isn't that gorgeous? Really small clusters and points. A lot of starbursts there. Look gorgeous sitting underneath a lamp. I'll probably clean that up a little bit more for her before I send it out. Okay. And then obviously, outside of clusters, you know, crystal points. Crystal points. Everybody loves crystal points. Lots of those. A friend of mine, Cassie, takes them and she turns them into jewelry pieces and other little crap. Like here's a good example of stuff that's in the process of being cleaned. Some clusters that need to be worked on. You can see the staining on them yet. As they go through more and more cleaning processes, they become more and more bleached, and you get closer to this stuff. So there are smaller things like this that I absolutely love. Love the way they look. Hopefully that focuses right. Love the tiny little plates with the towers on them. If I were to try to show you all that I have, it would take all day. It would just take all day. This is only a handful of what I have. It's stuff packed away in boxes that needs to be gone through yet. I see. tons and tons of pyrite that I find, all kinds of really cool stuff. Lots and lots and lots of pyrite. There's a inner random quartz, some interesting stuff in here yet I've got to go through. I see people doing tumbling. I'm considering trying that with some of these random pieces that aren't very good. You can see there's a lot of stuff that just wouldn't be something you see in the store. It's not something that the retailers would sell, but I still find it to be beautiful. Here's some pieces of the vein from the abandoned Echo Mine. These are actually pieces that my father had dug out himself, and I gotta clean them and bleach them, but I am so far behind. I will eventually get to it. So, this still needs to be cleaned. Look at all that heavy iron staining. What's really wild is you can't tell what's here half of the time until you've cleaned it. Some stuff looks like it'll be absolutely nothing, but then once it's cleaned, that's amazing. There's more and more examples I find. I do want to start beginning of the new year, first week of January. I'm going to be putting in one of the videos somewhere, be it one of the shorts or one of the long forms. I'm not going to say which, but I will be doing giveaways of formations. Nothing major. Some nice, beautiful little things. Pyrite that I find is gorgeous. It's really neat when it's all cleaned up. So, yeah, expect that beginning in January, first week. I'll just put somewhere that I'm doing a giveaway. I'll show the piece. It'll be very brief. And if you comment, I'll know that you want in on it. The reason I'm going to do it that way is because I don't want people just joining the channel because they think they're going to get something free. I see that happen a lot. I want what I'm giving away to go to subscribers who are actually watching the content. It's my way of saying thank you for supporting what I'm doing. So hopefully it won't take too long. See that we're already over 100 subscribers. I'm a little bit shocked, but happy. Oh, the amount of pyrite. This is ridiculous. Pyrite, let me know. I'll clean these up, make them nice and golden. Put them in a little bag and send them out. I did attempt a little bit of cutting with some of the pyrite pieces. You don't get cool stuff like Jolly Roger Rocks gets and Uncle Nudge. I love their videos though. The stuff they find is so beautiful. And that's the thing too, as I expand and as this grows, my hope is to move, not move, but to travel to areas to mine on private claims and digs to get some really, really nice stuff. But yeah, the giveaway, yeah, I'll just put it in a random video. I'll just tell you to comment if you're interested, and I'll take care of the shipping. Contact me. Oh, we'll contact each other however that works, and I haven't really thought it all out yet. We'll go from there. I guess it's time to get some work done. I think one of the things I'm going to do is cut that crystal first so that I can get rid of this root and make a nice even base. I'd mentioned the electronics that I work with for crystals. I tried showing you before. So magnetron switches. This is a magnetron switch. So it is a LED light, battery operated, that is activated by magnetics. So what I'm doing is putting them in seats. And then you see the little magnets on the end of that little roofing nail there? Anyways, look at that. See it? Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't that be cool to have a little wand you can activate your necklace? So yeah, turning those into necklace and wand and bracelet sets to sell at like Ren fairs, those sorts of things, flea markets for fun. And eventually, once I have the store going, once I'm able to get the channel monetized, I'm going to make this all available to you guys. Who knows, maybe I'll even give some away for free for fun at some point. Like I said, I'm going to be doing giveaways, so gotta love that. I'm not very good with website stuff, so I don't know about creating my own store outside of this and linking it. I may try that at some point in time, but everything that I have is available to you. That's kind of how I want to make it. I want to offer everything that I have at wholesale prices, the prices that the dealers are paying for it. It is a bit of a hassle to go from dealer to dealer and attempt to sell bits and pieces of your collection. So I'm just going to offer it to the world. Usually what you see when you go to buy stuff at like a store or an event, it's marked up from what someone like me would sell it, anywhere from 50 to 300%. So they're like a crystal like this, somewhere around $75 to $150, depending on where you're at, yada yada yada. I don't see a problem with selling it for 40 to 50 bucks. Okay, well, it's time to get cutting some stuff, and after that we're going to start to acid bath the crystal, bleach them and get them some cleaned up so that they're ready to be sold. Let me give you a quick update on what's been going on. So I spent the entire weekend rock hounding. If you've seen the videos, you've seen just how physically exerting that can be. And I needed to rest Monday. I have a bum leg from injuring it a few years ago. Works well, just has a tendency to not enjoy long days of uneven ground and climbing. So then yesterday, I wanted to get out and shoot footage and work in the workshop, but I had a really bad migraine, and I don't know if any of you guys suffer from migraines, but I'm going to tell you what, they are no fun. I did manage to get up a little bit here and there and create a few shorts and put them out there, whatnot. But so today I'm feeling great and I want to do all this, and my neighbor has to be running the wood chipper for hours now, and it constantly gets picked up in my video. Why today? Why?
I will send you to Jesus.
You know, he also used to have guinea hens. I don't know if you know what guinea hens are, but they are the perfect 5 o'clock in the morning alarm clock. And he used to let them run around here free, and those things are aggressive. I mean, they're not dangerous or anything. They are definitely an ugly looking bird, but they don't know how to shut up. They attack their own reflection in the bumpers. I used to have to chase them away from the cars. And I was out here trying to cut up logs that had fallen from a branch out of the tree. My brother and these guinea hens would coming around. Swear to God. That's why I want my place in Kentucky, far away from everybody, where it's nice and quiet. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong with the time lapse. It's kind of working and it's kind of not working. I am shooting this video in the 9x16 format for mobile devices. I did cut the crystal. You can see, because it's much larger than the height of my saw, I had a little bit of an issue there, especially with the unevenness on the bottom. I'll come back and clean this up eventually. I figured though, who really wants to see something like this cut? It's not like you're gonna see anything amazing afterwards. I'm just putting a flat bottom on it. So I decided I'm probably not gonna put that in the video. So I am gonna prep a few formations. Basically, it's just a matter of sticking them in the pot, turning the pot on and mixing up the solution with hot water and pouring it in. And I'm sure nobody wants to see that. I am definitely surprised by how the community is growing. It's nothing crazy impressive yet, but I mean, to be over a fifth of the way there to being monetized, yeah, I'll take that. I have this problem with not being able to put stuff down or leave it there if I can lift it up. You can see I brought back a lot of neat little crystal plates, adorned the base of the tree. Got some cool pyrite veins and rocks that I brought up. It's just everywhere. This one's kind of neat. There's a very thin pyrite plate across the face. It's nice when the sun hits it, glints. Then over at my mailbox, like just the base of my mailbox, there's a rockhound's paradise right here. Look at this. There's crystal here. Look at Actually, that's kind of a nice piece. Maybe I shouldn't have that sitting there. Maybe one of you guys would like that. Clean it up. Might do that. But yeah, I got crystal plates sitting in here. And then you can see the pyrite down here, all the way around here. There's a cool pyrite thing right there. Little pocket in there with the squares. Close. And then all this right down through here is all tumbled quartz. There's some more interesting formations I found. This little pyrite geode with like the egg in it. It's pretty cool. Some more fossilized bark, petrified wood. More petrified wood. Now this thing, I'm not sure. I mean, there's like a quartz in here. I don't really see anything on the back. But what strikes me as odd is the shape. And that it has this little nubbin on top. Kind of reminds you of a vertebrae, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. I mean, I found it like this. It wasn't attached to anything. It was just loose, so... Huh. It'd be pretty cool. It was like a dinosaur vertebrae or something. Or some kind of prehistoric creature. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me today. Workshop stuff isn't really as exciting as being out there looking for it. In all honesty, that is the part that I love most about what I do, is out there treasure hunting for the crystal. It's so exciting when you find something, when you discover a vein and you start to work the vein and you realize that you have a massive pocket and just amazing stuff. There is that new dig that I mentioned in the previous long form video and in one of the shorts. They have opened up a serious amount of the bedrock and area in there, and that's generally where I find my good stuff. So this weekend, who knows, I'll be out adventuring again, and hopefully I will find something amazing that I get to share with you guys. Again, I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope you're enjoying the content. I didn't expect to be putting this much effort into it, but in the end, I'm really enjoying it. If you've watched the first video, which I know doesn't have a whole lot to do with rockhounding, it's just kind of me talking. I expressed my desire in what I was doing here. The channel was a means to an end, but the community and the communication, the connection that's happening, it's wonderful. I have not been a social person for about 8 years. Only what was absolutely necessary. did a lot of introspection and personal growth during that period. But I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm the type of person where even when I'm just watching a funny little short or TikTok or something, and if it makes me laugh or I enjoy it, I have to share it with somebody. I have to show them, you know, I'm that annoying friend that, hey, check this out, check this out. And doing this rock hounding for years now and everything, I haven't had a chance to share it with a lot of people. And it's a beautiful thing. And I love being able to share it with all of you. My personal goal, my promise to myself is to every video improve by 1%. I try to stay on top of the technical aspect, paying attention to things. It's not something I'm used to doing. And it's kind of odd, but I've been a mechanic most of my life. Time off here and there where I work different jobs just to get away from it for a little bit. So this is definitely a new adventure for me. I hope you're all enjoying it. Feel free to comment, ask me questions, communicate with me, reach out. I will respond. It's kind of why I like doing this. I want to talk to people. If we share the same interests, let's talk about it. You know, if you're here for the personal growth and development, the wabi-sabi, let's talk about that. Hit me up. Speaking of which, I will be doing videos on that soon. And Creators Corner for you small content creators, if you are actually watching. I'll compile some information that I've come across and learned and share some of my experiences and promote some of you. There's several small content creators that I will mention in this upcoming Creators Corner. They could really use some love. So if you're there and you see it, man, head over to their channel. I think I'm going to, instead of placing the Creators Corner in the long form videos and the Wabi Sabi in the long form videos, what I'm going to do is create them as their own separate entity. This channel's not very niche. It's hitting a little bit of a broader spectrum than most. I know some of you don't care about the crystals, some of you do. Some of you like the Wabi Sabi, others don't. If you're not a small content creator, why would you really care about Creators Corner? So I'm going to put those in separate little sections, make the playlist just for those. The stuff where I'm just walking and talking, discussing the channel and my thoughts and whatnot, I put under the journey. You can see the growth and development of the channel and myself. If you guys have any stories that you want to share about your own personal development or growth, or things that you found or what you enjoy, let's talk about it. Who knows, maybe I'll just do a video on it or something. I don't see why not. I have to get to cleaning those formations like I mentioned, but that's going to take a little bit of time. Once the prep work and actually do it, it only takes about maybe 15-20 minutes. And then it's a 6 to 8 hour wait. 6 to 8 hours of cooking in that crock pot, making sure the acid solution stays hot so it's effective. There is actually a biochemical reaction that goes on, or some type of chemical reaction, maybe not biochemical. By no means am I an expert or a scientist or anything like that. I'm pretty much an amateur who's learning as he goes. But the chemical reaction causes its own heat initially. If you keep it warm, it's actually more effective. So after about 6 to 8 hours of soaking in the solution to dissolve any of the carbonaceous material, any of the rust that's built up on it, it's got to come out, be rinsed, scrubbed off, and then put in a solution to neutralize any acids that might still be present to prevent discoloration and the little salts that build up. So again, guys, thanks for hanging out. I should be pumping out a lot of shorts here. I'll have the undisclosed location dig, the one with the pyrite, completed tonight. I may or may not have this long form completed tonight, we'll see. And I'll release a bunch of shorts to highlight stuff. At any rate, I hope everyone is having a truly wonderful day. And as always, stay safe.